Are you about to do a double closing on one of your real estate wholesaling assignment fees and you can't find the transactional funding for the deal and you're just trying to look everywhere for it? Well, look no more. I'm going to tell you guys how to find transactional funding, and I'm going to give you the step-by-step process on exactly how I would go out there and do it for my own wholesaling assignment fees if I ever need to do a double closing. Hey, what's going on? My name is Devin Knupp, and if you're new here, I talk a lot about real estate wholesaling and I give a lot of advice on stuff. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel because I do upload every single day about real estate wholesaling. So with this, if you don't know what double closing is, basically what a double closing is where you are basically purchasing the property temporarily when the closing day comes, and then you're selling the property over to the cash buyer, where like a normal assignment fee or a normal assignment of the contract is basically you're just assigning the contract into the buyer's name and they just basically get the rights to owning the property. Whereas a double closing is you're literally buying the property for like a day, like, well, not even like an hour, however long it takes for all the paperwork to be signed. But what this allows you to do is makes it so that way you can't have people figure out how much you're making on the deal. So if you're making a lot of money, this is what you'll want to do. Or some states require you to do a double closing in order for you to do real estate wholesaling. Anyways, I made a video. I'm not going to go over all of the details. If you don't know what double closing is, check out this video right here. So how to go out there and find the transactional funding. And there's actually a few different ways. And I will be completely honest with you guys. I haven't personally ever had to get transactional funding for a deal. There was a couple times and I've gotten it set up before, but I haven't gone out there and closed a deal with transactional funding. I just want to be completely honest with you guys, but I have had students that have closed deals and I've helped them find transactional funding. It's just every deal that I've ever had to do, it wasn't a requirement or it wasn't a necessity. And the buyers, it was just like they were kind of more long-term relationship and they really didn't care how much I made on these deals. And the states I was doing deals in, I didn't have to do double closing. So if you have to do it, like I said, I've helped other students, I've helped other people go out there and close a deal, and I've kind of walked them through the process and we were able to help them close deals with the transactional funding and do a double closing. So before I go in depth in this video, if you could please smash that like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's 100% free. It helps me be able to reach more people, and it gives you just that warm, fuzzy feeling inside for hitting that like button. So smash that like button down below. And so there's a couple different ways that you can get transactional funding. And no, don't shoot me a message or an email asking for transactional funding. I don't do transactional funding, maybe in like 20 years from now, but not right now. So please don't ask me for questions like this. I always get asked for money and stuff because I am in the business and I talk about real estate a lot, but don't ask me for money for transactional funding or anything like that. If you want to send us your deals, awesome, go for it. I'll put a link in the description, but don't ask me for it. So how I would go about finding the transactional funding, and there's actually a couple of ways. And I'll start with like the easiest approach, but if that option doesn't work, then there's some other steps that you can take to go out there and find this transactional funding. So the first step that I would take is, if you don't already have a title company, go get a title company that will work with real estate investors and has maybe worked with wholesalers before, and ask them if they can do transactional funding. Just explain what transactional funding is if they don't know what you're talking about. But if they don't know what you're talking about, chances are they won't do it. A lot of title companies, or I would say a few title companies, do it in-house, and that would be the simplest situation, the circumstances, because they're already working on the deal, they're working all the paperwork, they already see the title, they know everything that's going on, and it's going to be the easiest solution for you. So if your title company will do transactional funding, go out there and ask them if they can help you out for the transactional funding. But if not, obviously you're gonna have to use some of these other options that are available out there. And so the next option, what I would do is reach out to, like, if you have any friends or family that you know that has cash that they could lend you for the transactional funding. Just break it all down exactly what you're looking for, kind of explain what transactional funding is, exactly what you're doing with the business. Obviously, I would really recommend someone that you trust. Otherwise, you're gonna have to get some legal paperwork signed up and everything, and it's gonna be a lot more of a hassle. But if you have to do it, it's not a big deal. But just explain to them what's going on, and if you don't have anybody for support, or you feel like you're going to be ruining relationships in your family, it's okay. I don't like to tie business and family together, but this is an option. So if you have like a really rich uncle and they believe in you, I'm just giving this as an option, because I know some people work it this way, and it's probably easier and less outreach that you need to do. So if that option doesn't work, or like your uncle doesn't want to know, like it thinks that wholesaling is a scam or whatever, or what you're doing is a scam, then what I recommend is going out to reaching out to your different connections from like your cash buyers list, or the different connections that you've made from along the journey of building up your cash buyers list. And so what I would do is reach out to just the people that went to RIA meetings, and see who is the private money lenders that are at those meetings. Ask the different people. There's always going to be a private money lender at these meetings. If not, then I don't know what meetings you're going to, but go to one of these and it's going to be spiff-tastic. You should be able to find someone that has been able to close a lot of deals and everything, or helped a lot of other people. And so they should understand what transactional funding is. Just explain it to them if they don't know, and see if they're willing to work with you. That would be my next best bet. With any of this transactional funding, you should be paying them out of what you make on the assignment fee. So after all the closing, if you're working with a private lender, or you're working with a family member, they may want to get the money up front. But if it's a family member, you shouldn't have to. If it's like a private lender, they might want the money up front for what the transactional fees are going to cost for them to do all the paperwork, and maybe the attorney fees and everything. But if you're doing it with the title company, you shouldn't have to pay anything, because until the deal's already closed, because they all know what's going on and they're handling everything in-house. But just beware, the fees, they shouldn't be too crazy. I wouldn't say they shouldn't be over $2,000 unless you're working with really expensive properties, more than $300,000. Then maybe it's going to be a little bit pricey for the transactional funding, but it shouldn't be too much. If it's crazy amounts, then maybe look out for some of these other options. But you should expect to have to pay for attorney fees, but chances are it will come out of the assignment fee that you make on the deal, or whatever you make for making the transaction happen or closing the deal. It'll get paid out of that. But if none of these options work, you're having trouble finding a private money lender, or you gotta move really quickly, there also is a few companies out there that advertise that they do private money lending. You see them all the time inside of Facebook groups, and they post literally everywhere. And the problem is you got to really watch out. There's a lot of people that are scams inside of advertising that they do private money lending whenever you go on social media websites and everything. So I really recommend that you go try to vet these people. Ask for referrals. Try to see who they've worked with if you try to find them out of a Facebook group. I know there's a few websites out there that will offer transactional funding. To be honest with you guys, as of right now, I don't have a company that I know that I can trust for just transactional funding consistently. So if any of you guys have a company that you know that works with wholesalers and does transactional funding, please drop it down in the comments down below, or shoot me a message on Instagram, shoot me an email, something like that. Instagram or comment would be the best, and we'll get in touch and everything, because I really want to help out everybody that's following me. I just want to be able to give everybody a solid connection for a company that does transactional funding consistently and just super simple and easy, and they have a website or something like that, and they do it nationwide. So if any of you guys know a website like that, let me know. There's a lot of scams out there, and I just want to make sure that we get a good company that people have had experience with and everything. Now, obviously, you can do your own due diligence and try to find your own company if you're watching this and you need transactional funding. None of the other options work. All that I recommend is that you just be extremely careful, because like I said, there are a lot of people that it's just easy for them to make a quick buck, because then they just get the money up front and then they just run away after they get your money up front. So if you are going to do it with somebody that you've never, some sort of third party you meet them on social media or online and whatnot. Try to see if you can get them to pay. Have it set up so you pay them out of the deal closing and everything. If you have a real estate attorney, maybe have them look over any paperwork or anything, or write up the contracts and just make sure that everything's all legit. I wouldn't just trust their word. I would just really vet these people out to make sure that everything's legit, because you don't want to just give out $1,000 to someone and get scammed, or even worse. I don't know. I've just heard some sketchy. There's just a lot of sketchy people out there, like in my own personal Facebook group and everything, that I see people post. And speaking of Facebook groups, join my Facebook group. I'll put it down in the description down below if you haven't already. I think we got like 2,700 members inside there, and I'm pretty active inside there. So if you have any questions, you can get my response, a couple other people's opinions. So feel free to join the modern wholesaling community. I'll put the link down below. But anyways, that's what I got for you guys as far as transactional funding for a double closing goes. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments down below. Maybe I can redo this video and reiterate on some stuff if I didn't cover some of the bases that you guys want answers, especially once I come across a company that I can just share with everybody that I can trust, and I want you guys to be able to use and leverage the ability for the transactional funding. I will probably remake a video on that, covering that company and who they are and everything like that, and going over the full overlay of who they are. But as of right now, this is what I've got for you guys as far as transactional funding goes. I've been getting this question a lot. So anyways, if you haven't already, go check out this video right here. I highly recommend that you go see it. I think it would be a really good video for you. Yeah, that one. That video is pretty solid. Go check it out. But anyways, if you haven't already, join the fam, join the gang by hitting the subscribe button down below, and smash that like button. Highly appreciated. But anyways, like always, guys, I'll either see you in that video or I see you tomorrow. Peace.